Once you start working with and creating your artwork, you'll want to save that artwork in one of many available formats. Now, I'm starting here with this Faces Illustrator file open, and to show you some of the options when saving, I'm going to come up here to the File menu and I'm going to choose Save As. Now, one of the big differences between save and save as, by the way, is that save is simply to save any modifications that you've made to an existing Illustrator file. And save as is typically reserved for saving a copy of a file. You'll notice, however, that if you create a brand new document and you make a bunch of options again, you will notice, by the way, that if you create a brand new document and add content to that document, when you choose save, it's automatically going to do a save as, and that's because the file has never been saved before. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to call this face, and then I'll put maybe the number 1 behind it as an example. And what I want to draw your attention to is down here to the Format drop-down menu. Now, if you click on this drop-down menu, you'll notice that the Save or Save As dialog box only really has 6 available options to choose from. Now, the format that you're going to want to save your native Illustrator documents in is going to be the Adobe Illustrator format. That's the most common option that you're going to have available. And so if I go ahead and choose the Illustrator format, and I click the Save button, you're going to be presented with the Illustrator Options dialog box. And for the most part, there's not a whole lot you want to do in this dialog box. The only thing I'll point out is that if you ever need to save a version of a file for somebody using an older version of Illustrator, and by older I mean CS6 or earlier, you'll notice you can come up here to the drop-down menu and you can back save your documents to earlier versions of Illustrator. More than likely, you're not going to run into that a whole lot, but if you do, this is where you're going to need to do it. So I click OK, and I've now saved this in that different format. Now, if I do a Save As again, you're going to notice that in the Format drop-down menu down here, you also have the ability to save your files in Illustrator template. This is helpful when you create content that is similar in nature each time. So let's say, for example, you have to do a postcard for a project and you have to do a new one every single month. That's where you might want to create an Illustrator template. PDF is also incredibly important because that allows you to save it to a format that pretty much anybody is going to be able to open using Adobe Reader or Adobe Acrobat. So if you want to share this artwork with other users, the PDF format is probably your best choice. The Illustrator EPS format is an older format, and some people are still using that, but that allows you to save a file that can then in turn be placed into other applications, such as InDesign or even Photoshop. But that also is able to happen when you use the Illustrator format as well. And then the SVG formats, those are vector-based web formats that are gaining popularity on the web. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this for now because what I also want to show you is that in addition to those 6 available options that we saw when we're saving a document, we also have the ability to go to the File menu and choose Export. And we have a lot of different options here. You have the Export As option, and that allows you to export into a larger variety of formats. Some of these are raster-based formats. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are raster-based formats. But if you're trying to export into a particular format, you can choose it from here by going to the Export As dialog box. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. If I go to File and choose Export again, you'll notice that we also have Export for Screens, and this is if you're utilizing that feature in Illustrator that helps you to create web-based assets. And then we also have Save for Web Legacy, which is the tried and true older method of exporting web-based graphics. If I choose Save for Web Legacy, you're going to notice that this allows you to optimize your graphics for web formats. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, you have the ability to choose from a number of different presets, including GIF, JPEG, and PNG, which at this point in time are the three primary web formats in use today. So you can change these settings. I'm going to go ahead and choose, in this example, I would probably use a PNG 8. And then you can vary your settings. You can even change your size if you wish. So if I was looking to create artwork that was only 300 pixels wide, it would resize it for me at that point. I'll just go ahead and choose Save, and that'll allow me to save this and save that artwork for use on the web. So think about the intended use of your file and either save or export to the format most appropriate for the intended use of that artwork.